I don't remember the specific story I was preaching about, but some years ago I was preaching about how I'm often in awe of the human spirit and its ability not just to face adversity and struggle, but how so often I meet people who find a way not just to move through adversity, but even to rise above it in marvelously holy ways, coming to things like deeper perspective and growth and wisdom and all of that stuff. And in the course of my homily, I had mentioned how I didn't know if I would be able to respond to adversity in that same way. I don't know if I ever would have that kind of strength to rise above in the way I see so many people doing it. And I remember after I preached at the end of the liturgy, a woman came up to me and sort of gently chided me. And she said, Father, if you ever had to face something real serious in your life, you'll find that strength and that peace to rise above it. Now, normally in my sinfulness, I might have sort of smiled and went, okay, and kind of written that off. But I really listened to this person because the woman who was telling me this was a woman living with terminal cancer. I visited her regularly and prayed with her. And in many ways, she proved what I was preaching. I watched how, yes, there were the tears and there was the anger and the resentment and the frustration at the diagnosis. But I also saw her find this strength and peace to not just face all of that, but even rise above it. I watched her find her life more rooted in gratitude for the gift of the moment. I watched her become closer with her adult children and even reconcile a relationship that was wounded. And I saw the peace she experienced as a result of all of that. Today, the church celebrates the feast of the Ascension of Jesus as we move towards the end of this season of Easter. And it's ultimately a feast that in Jesus ascending makes space for the great gift of Pentecost to happen, for God's Spirit to be breathed into our lives in new and marvelous ways, to animate us so that we can not just face the confusion and uncertainty of life in the midst of our own fragility, but so that we can move through it and even rise above it at times. So today is a feast that invites us to pause and pray about how we have experienced that gift of God's Spirit at work in our own lives, helping us not just to face struggle and adversity in our lives, but to celebrate and ponder the ways in which it's allowed us to move through all of that and even rise above it, coming to new wisdom and growth and a deeper sense of peace and love. Today is ultimately a feast that invites us all to celebrate that great gift of God's peace and presence, which really does sustain us by allowing us again and again to rise up and to rise above so that we can keep growing. Easter peace and blessings to you all.